All right, this is episode number 5 of Initiative, and we have Plux here, who is currently the support for Revival, and they had just come off of a upset in the big league, taking down Evil Genius Prodigies 2-0, who, for those who are not following the amateur scene, were the finalists in Risen Champions Tier 2 tournament for Proving Grounds. So needless to say, it was a very surprising victory for Revival. But now they will be heading into a semifinal match against Maryville University this Saturday. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, Plux, why don't you go ahead and give us a little introduction? You can tell us where you're from and, maybe one interesting fact about yourself that most people want to know.
Alright, hey, what's up? I'm Plux. My name is Ryan. Technically it's Thomas, but I go by Ryan.
Yeah.
From, technically Delaware, but moved to Pennsylvania 2 years ago, which was gonna be for college, but then I took a gap year, so just waiting on that. Fun fact, man, I don't know, I'm a Yumi one trick.
Are you?
No, I am more, but that's how everyone knows me.
Oh, gotcha. So. Okay, interesting. So, we'll get into that because I'm curious. I didn't realize that was the what a lot of other people knew you from, because my first view of you was Honda Scouting Grounds 2020 this past fall.
Yeah.
But let's go over your kind of team history. So now, if there's any incorrect, if there's any,
it's a bit different.
Okay, yeah. So what I have is that you were on your competitive history started in 2020 of January with Horizon Esports.
Yep.
And then you were briefly on Mirage around the fall of the same year. Then
Mirage was just sorry.
No, you're good. You can interrupt me.
So Mirage, I was kind of just a sub for their Scouting Ground circuit, but I was working all the time, and I never actually subbed, so I didn't actually do anything for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I tried out for their team, but then they chose, I think, Jonathan Furlong over me. So. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So you were on the team, but you never really got to play for the team. Okay. I have that you were with TBA Esports for a little bit of the fall. Was that for Upsurge or for Risen when they were playing?
Yeah, it was for both, and some other league that I don't remember what the other. It was mainly just EPL and Horizon.
Okay. And now, then there was a brief stint where you got into Honda Scouting Grounds because I believe you got in through solo queue points, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So, because the other 2 supports got in from just of their placement in Scouting Ground circuit, and then you got in through solo queue, and now you're on Revival. So before all this competitive history, Plux, what first got you into playing League?
Yeah, so it was, I don't know, it was probably season 2 or 3. I was playing Minecraft, Hunger Games back then.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, just some of my friends were oh, we should play League sometime. Then we all, I don't know, we just played the game, a little, 1 or 2 games, and then never played again. And then I would just pick Master Yi, build Triforce every game, 5 Triforces, and then just if I got bored, I would just AFK at 10 minutes,
Gotcha.
I never got past level 7 or whatever, and it was what it was. And then so after that, after the Minecraft stuff, started playing CSGO, played 3,000 or 4,000 hours, was global, and then obviously was in FACEIT and ESEA and stuff. No, I wasn't really that good, but I mean, global is good obviously, but compared to pro and even amateur players, I wasn't good.
Gotcha.
So after that, about season 5, I think it was right before then, season 5, one of my good friends from CSGO, his name's Matt. Don't talk to him anymore, but he decided to teach me League, and was playing AD carry. Barely got gold on like the last day of the season. Even though it says I'm silver, I did end gold. I had the gold stuff.
Gotcha.
But and then season 6, just hit diamond 4, and then was playing support at that time after playing AD carry. And then honestly, season 6 I put like every role, but ended up manning support near the end. Played a lot of Janna for sure. Janna was probably my one trick at that point. Near the end though, spilled some iced tea on my laptop and did not have a computer to play the game.
No, man.
So, yeah, just stopped playing video games for like a year or so.
Oh shit! So you were cold turkey for a whole year?
I mean, like I could play it at school or like on other computers, but
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because like I mean, playing at school is one thing, but you know when you go home and when you have a lot more free time and you just want to unwind for like a few hours and you don't have that available, that's gotta blow.
Yeah, no, I mean I think during that time I was playing Clash of Clans a lot. Like that was back in the Town Hall 10, Town Hall 11 Clan War days, and just I don't know. The Clash of Clans was a lot of fun back then, but
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so almost the entirety of this is essentially season 6 or season 7 that you don't have a laptop.
I was like season 7 and 8.
Gotcha.
Pretty much.
Okay, so then once you were able, did you get a new laptop at some point, or was it a PC?
Yeah, I bought like some gaming laptop from I don't know where. It was like a pretty bad laptop, but like it served its purpose.
Gotcha. Okay.
I had it until like a couple months ago, so definitely lived its lifespan. Started playing League again. Preseason 9 is when I came back.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Was mainly just dealing with this Jack Z player. I was playing Morgana or like Jan or whatever enchanter to help him carry, and then he eventually quit when we got to like diamond or so. So then I was on my own, and then I don't know, just have been playing support that season. Eventually got up to like grandmasters.
Yeah.
And then I took like a month break because I had like some gap year program
that
year where I was like just couldn't play for a month, and had a lot of fun on that. And then after I kind of decided that like at least until the next college semester, I would like just take League seriously or just start playing a lot more League.
Okay.
And Yumi also got released then. And just Yumi was like the most OP champ in the game. Like you could tank every skill shot in the game and then just get back in. Your Q did hundreds of damage for no reason.
Yeah.
It was a really fun champ at the time.
Yeah.
And eventually got up to like Challenger and kind of stayed Challenger for a while, just one tricking Yumi, having fun.
Okay.
And that's probably till like early season 10.
Okay. Yeah. So it was essentially near the end of season 9. This was the first time you had hit Challenger in your competitive career.
Pretty much like maybe 2 weeks or a month before season 9 ended. Yeah, I got Challenger.
That was the whole Garen Yumi bot lane phase, man. I
never played it, but yeah, that was a thing that people were. Yeah.
You know, when it first came out, it was amusing and entertaining from a viewer standpoint, but the amount of oppression that it brought out, no, man.
Just no counterplay.
No, man.
Yeah, I remember Rails that year, Fanatics just playing it every single game.
Yeah.
And it's like, can anyone do anything?
Yeah. There's no counterplay. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for them to win worlds, but you know, it is it is what it is. But yeah, so going into now season 10, off the back that you first hitting Challenger, that's when your competitive career, I guess an amateur, then started, coincidentally.
Yeah, kinda. It was just like one UPL split, and I I wouldn't say I took it very seriously because at the time I was very burnt out of League, and we like UPL probably lasted like 2 months,
Yeah.
and probably for a month of it,
Mhm.
all of my free time was spent playing Escape from Tarkov because that was when that game boomed. So like I
Okay.
didn't care about League at all, and I was just playing Tarkov all day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Acillion wasn't a big fan of that, but he put through with it for however long.
So who was on this Horizon Esports roster then with you?
So at first it was like Shadow, who had made Scouting Grounds like season 6 or something. Stone Weapons, who is Armored Modad now. He's like known as a Hecarim player now.
Okay.
I Stupid 123, Starry Maker 123. Or actually he came on later, sorry. So Rauschenberg in the mid. It's like a D2 or D2 the Masters player.
Mm-hmm.
And then Acillion, who is 100 Instinct now.
Mm-hmm.
And me.
Tony.
And there's also a time where like Rauschenberg and Acillion were role swapped, because Acillion was definitely the best player on that team, and we were just trying to get him to carry, however.
Yeah.
But yeah, the team wasn't very good, but it was fun. It was fun.
I mean, it's your first team experience, right? So it's not necessarily that it will always be the best one. How did you get into contact with this team in the first place?
I really don't remember. I think I posted it into like Diamond Plus Amateur Collegiate Discord. Just hey, Challenger sub looking for team, and I don't know if there were tryouts. I think we just like, or at least me. I don't know how it was for other people. I was just like, oh, you're on the team, cool. And then
easy. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. So then after Horizon and your essentially what it looked like a spring split in UPL, that's when Scouting Ground Circuit started, right? And so from there, I don't know if you were on a team until you were, the quote unquote like sub for Mirage, even though you didn't get to play for Mirage, but according to the timeline that we have here, that was after the Scouting Ground Circuit ended.
So technically Horizon Esports tried to qualify for like, I don't remember if we did like one LWL qualifier or some open qualifier, but we just didn't make it.
Gotcha.
And then I kind of decided that I didn't want to play anymore. Like the team wasn't improving at all, and I wasn't getting anything from it. I assume most other people weren't getting anything from it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Acillion quit like right after, and then it just collapsed after we left, pretty much. And then I was just playing Sulky. I wasn't really looking for a team. I think maybe I had like Harrisburg University tryouts during that time.
Yeah.
But I didn't make it. And I was just playing Sulky, pretty much.
Okay. So, and if you're okay with like kind of opening up more about the LWL qualifier, so at that time for this Mirage roster, that was still
that was for Horizon, by the way.
Oh, for Horizon. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So Horizon after UPL tried to get in through LWL and it didn't work out, and so that's when the team just fell apart.
Yep.
And so Acillion goes to Mirage, and I don't recognize any of these other players, so I'm assuming they just stopped playing, or did they?
For Horizon?
Yeah.
So Regidice is like a Rengar one trick jungler. Stone Weapon, he was on Glacial Esports this season.
Oh, okay.
He was a jungler for that team. I Stupid, he was also on Glacial Esports.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And then Acillion and me.
Yep. So you were playing solo queue throughout most of the Scouting Ground Circuit while, big league, focus, Risen, all that shit was going on essentially, right?
Yep.
Okay. So then it comes to the point where, the Scouting Ground Circuits are tallying up and you're invited to go because of your solo queue standings. But before you,
Yeah.
because that's a long ways away into November, how did you get into contact for TBA Esports?
Well, okay, so I'd been like, okay, so I was a Yumi one trick for like until maybe like June,
Sure.
or like whenever the scouting ground stuff started, like
Mm-hmm.
the solo queue point tallies. I just like decided that Yumi is not fun to play. I'm just gonna start learning other champs, and I just stopped playing Yumi for a while.
Yeah.
So sometime maybe like a month before I joined TBI, like Shiager, Ash, he was coach of New Blaze. He's a coach of the PCS team.
Yeah.
Now. He was making like a developmental team for the next scouting ground circuit, or proving. Or obviously we didn't know it was proving grounds at the time.
Right.
But for the next scouting ground circuit, and it was like Shamwa top, Goo jungle, Darkwings mid, BMFX 80 carry, and me support.
Mm-hmm.
And that lasted for like a week. We had like 2 scrims, and everyone went into it knowing that everyone had no competitive experience, but someone mental boomed and just made the team boom in 2 scrims. I won't say who.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know how okay. Then I saw Shiger. He was like an analyst for TBI at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Post looking for supports in that Diamond Plus Discord. And then I just messaged him like, hey, if you need me, I'm still here. I'm like trying my best to improve and stuff.
Yeah.
And then just got on the team because at the time I think James Bay and City Woody had kind of rage quit the team, and Goo had joined them, and then a couple days later I joined too.
God.
So that was how I joined TBI.
Yeah. You know, I laugh just because that is something that just never ceases to surprise me, even though it's happened so many times. It's like, man,
Yeah, just players in amateur just rage quit all the time.
Oh
like,
man, I don't know what it is. It's like the past 3 teams, and it's just like, all right, this team, I'm out. I mean, I don't know what's like exactly going on behind the scenes, but that's I think XT, he was on one of XT's teams, like I don't know if it was XT Esports or
XT Gerb Nation or
oh yeah, the XT Gerb Nation, whatever, right? He was on there, and then he messaged me. He's like, "Yeah, the team boomed." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Well, City Witty is done playing, and the team is now boom. I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck, man?"
Yep.
Okay, well, but yeah, moving forward, TBA, you guys get Goo and Young, who or at least Goo you mentioned was in the other developmental team that Shia was putting together. So this is essentially like a revamped core of that same team, right?
And no, it's more like the other people had been there.
Oh, okay.
And they were on a team with their friends, but then like their team just mental boomed, and then they were deciding whether or not they wanted to like just quit and like boom the team or find other people to come. And I don't know how they got Goo, but I'm assuming Shia like recommended him.
Yeah.
And then I just contacted Shia and I got in. So
okay.
it's more like I think, I don't know, joining it was like weird because like obviously I was the last one to join, and most of the players had been there before or had been in like amateur for a bit. And also like when I joined, it's like everyone's like just so tilted, or like so the atmosphere wasn't very good like before me and Goo came, I would say, to say the least. But it was fine after we joined. We aren't really a good team, and that's probably on me and Goo for being very inexperienced at the time. But probably me mostly. Goo's pretty good. but at the time I was not, and I didn't know how to do that much to add value to a team.
Yeah. So when TBA was at, I guess, its best, its stride, the roster was it? So we had Gu and Young, but at some point, Yumbi had also come in as a sub. I think Eclipse was also there. Or
Yeah, so Eclipse like subbed 1 game when I was there. Yumbi subbed like 2 games because Young had like college stuff going on.
okay.
But it was me, it was Cozy, Gu, Young, Sean, and me for the most part.
Okay. Huh. So with that being said, I don't know why I never put this together, but essentially 100 Thieves next this year is essentially just the top half of TVA. So the reason why I'm kind of when it comes to like September to November within the amateur scene, I decided to take a break and start school up again, and so I was just very deep in classes, and so I had no idea what was happening. So when the 100 Thieves next roster got announced, I was like, oh, I recognize Goo. And then I think I remember Young Mid from Radiance, but like all these, you know, and then of course I know Acillion and Busio, but like I didn't realize like the top half was on a team together. So that's it's wild. What was the team dynamic like with TBA?
I don't know. Like, I think the 2 most important roles in like leading team are jungle and support, and I had no experience calming or how to like successfully lead a team to win a game at the time. And Gu wasn't. I mean, Gu was like always like, oh, let's go for this, and then we would just permafight. And if we get ahead, we win. If we don't, we lose. It is what it is. But I don't know, me and Sean were also like really bad for a while, and then near the end we were like pretty good, but like for this season amateur, which was like weaker than like, because feels like there's like some UPL splits that are like really strong, obviously with like Gangans circuit and stuff and Proven Guns this year, and some where they're just, or some that are just really bad, and this one was like a pretty bad one. So
it's understandable. I mean,
and then like for a while it was like we'd be like winning fight bot, and then their top TP, or like we communicate that we need people to TP, and then their top TPs, and then we're like, Cozy, you need to TP, and this happened to like every game pretty much. He would just not TP and stay in lane, and I was like, oh my god. That happened enough times that I would bring it up now, so
yeah.
It was kind of frustrating for a bit, but I would definitely say that the coach, Coach Coso, Mark, my boy Mark on Supernova right now.
Yeah.
He, while maybe not focusing as much on team VOD reviews and like actually getting us to play together as a team, he really focuses on one-on-one and like how he can play matchups better, how he can like, how I can use roam timers better, where I can ward better, and he's really helped me. He's probably been the biggest help for me in my like league career, quote unquote, so far.
Yeah.
Because he even helped coach at Scangans for my team, so we were just working all the time back then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's I've noticed that in one of the previous guests I had, Raheen, actually he talked tremendously about once he started getting coaching, who was from Vigar V2. He just tremendously improved, and he just was able to point out things that he would never even think was a problem, right? And that's sometimes that all it takes. Like you have the great makings of a talent and being able to, you know, play the game at a high level, but then unless you are able to find someone that can notice those things and point them out and work with you, then it's hard. It's not like you're not smart enough to notice them on your own, but you know, it's like whenever you get feedback on a project or a paper, there just might be things that you would never think was an issue, and then once someone points it out, you're like, oh shit, you're right, you know. So I think that's great.
Yeah, I think the difference between me and Raheem though is that I think his confidence is very high. So maybe he thinks that like, oh, I don't know what I could do better here. I think I have very little confidence, and I'm like, what am I doing that's right? And I need to be like told what to do, or not as much anymore, but like back then, like I knew I was not a good player at all, and I just need people to tell me what do I do, and like what am I doing great. And it took a while. Like by the time I got into Skygrounds, it was like I was like, okay, like I was definitely probably the worst, or maybe tied for the worst support there.
Yeah.
But like it was nowhere near as bad as I was on TBA. So, or the first part of TBA.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So things eventually got better. And so all of this finally led up. I'm not sure if the fall split of those leagues ended before Honda Scouting Grounds started up.
Most of them were halfway through. Like,
oh shit!
Yeah. So some of them we rescheduled. Some of them my team just played with subs. So. Gotcha.
Okay. So then let's talk about your experience at Scouting Grounds. You were on Team Mountain. You had Gibble, Iconic, APA, Spawn, and then yourself, right? So So on paper, you guys were viewed as one of the weaker teams out of the four, and it was definitely one of the weirdest allocations, because I think if you remember when watching the APA episode.
Yeah, I watched APA's VOD on this, and I don't like. I wasn't big in amateur. I've heard of these players, or most of them, or seen them in solo queue, but I don't know how they play. I don't know their play styles. And I was watching APA's thing, and he's like, everyone on our team is weak side, and our jungle plays for top. And it's like, oh, it makes sense why our team sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Ryan, but like that. Yeah, that was it. I don't know like who put Team Mountain together, but like APA wants to roam and support laners. Spawn was like a weak side AD carry for Polar A's. Gibble's a weak side top laner, and Iconic is used to like smurfing it with Niles and MU. Yeah. So it's like, who's supposed to receive resources on this team?
Exactly.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, and I think there's times in the draft for like either it was set up to put Iconic ahead on a carry jungler, which I mean, that was kind of the meta.
That was the meta. Yeah.
So, and I think that was probably the best way of going about either that, or I think based on what we saw from Polar Ace, there's a couple times when Spawn got resources and he smurfed it on Ashe. So I was surprised that wasn't experimented further, but you know, it was what it was. But you know, from your perspective, what was the, like, not just the team dynamic, but like what was like the coaching staff right? Because I think Team Mountain was receiving help from, I think, FlyQuest staff, 100 Thieves, and one
Dig.
more else, and Dig.
Yeah, so pretty much the only like some people like Kelsey, Moser were there, some people on FlyQuest like analyst staff were there. But the main three coaches were, well, the main coach was like Invert, and then like the second person was Fawn Bandit, and then the third person was like Coach Coso, Mark.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. They were good. I don't know. At the time, I was friends with Mark, so I also like leaned with his opinion. Or not saying that I'm not still friends with Mark, but like Mark is the only person I knew going to Skygrounds.
Gotcha.
And Yonvi a little bit, and Jan a bit, like a little bit. But I wasn't really friends with anyone else, so I took his opinion like pretty hard. Like I valued his opinion, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And so Invert, his main things were like getting us to work together as a team, just like, and really focusing on macro decisions. He also helped me with like, he also like I was at the start, I was definitely the worst player. But after like a day or two, I was like pretty good. Like I was probably still the worst support, but like I wasn't like inting games, so it was good. Fallen Bandit probably just, I don't know, for us it was like our top end support at the start were like such huge holes, and then I became like pretty good, but then like it still felt like Gibble was like a pretty big hole the entire time. Because like we would most of the times like I don't know. The one thing that comes to mind is like we're playing against Cloud. I don't remember if it was in the final games or just like some random game, but like he has the opportunity to path down. Oh, this was a game against Niles where he got ganked like 10 times and he still like didn't die a single time. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yeah.
But like he had the opportunity. We were like hard frozen on bot lane for like 3 waves, and it's like, yo, we can't play the game unless you come down bot right now. And then he just pads up to Gibble and ganks him like 10 times, and they don't kill him a single time. And it's like, guess we lost. Like, I don't know. It was scuffed for sure. But definitely had fun. Definitely improved a lot. I knew coming into it that I was not going to be like the best support. I was not going to get these academy offers that I'm sure a lot of other people were expecting coming into. But I was just trying to improve as much as I could and prove to people that, oh wow, Plux improved a lot. Maybe I'll give them a chance on an amateur roster, or even to like just amateur teams. Like, man, Plux improved a lot.
Yeah.
Just see what happens, you know.
I mean, compared to a lot of the other players in amateur, I mean that you just reach, like in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of players that are like in amateur that you were essentially playing with at scouting grounds that have been challenger for quite some time, like since season 6 or season 7. You just barely got it near the tail end of season 9, so like
I'd only been not Yumi one trick for like 4 months, maybe 3 months. So yeah,
I think when you take that perspective in mind, it's the foundation that you built upon and grow from there. So, and I think that's a completely like acceptable way to take that experience, and having those grounded expectations, like, you know what, this isn't propelling me into academy anytime soon, but I just need to make the best out of it and take in and learn as much as I can so that I'm ready to have a better year, going into 2021. And and now here we are. We're in Revival, where, I mean, this roster has definitely been a surprise, but also a pleasure to watch in either the games that I'm able to catch live or the VODs I go through in preparation and just trying to understand your team as a whole better. So how did you get onto Revival, or how was this team formed?
All right, so I'll just start from like after scouting grounds.
Sure.
So Invert have been talking about like, okay, first off, I did not. I'll just leave it out. So I kind of like mental boomed after scouting grounds, not because of scouting grounds, but because of an IRL thing that happened. And I was like kind of like not interested in the game for a bit, and that only lasted like a week or 2, and then eventually the addiction came back, and it's like, oh yeah, I like playing League again. Then I started whatever offers I may have had before. Like I was like, I'm probably not gonna play, just to look for someone else. So yeah, then I had a couple of tryouts, and like this was still in the tryouts were still in the time that was like mental boom. So like I was just entering tryouts left and right. Like some of the tryouts were like for some of the new teams. I don't know which one it would have been, some other team. And then like it was like really depressing because I knew I'd like find any opportunity, because like as near the end of the tryouts I'd realized that, oh wait, I actually want to play amateur this season. And then I got an invitation from Shikara, who's our manager, assistant coach, whatever.
Yep, Alex.
And then was like, yeah, sure, I'll try it out. And then I won't say I played well. I definitely played bad, especially because the other supports there were like, okay. But like, I think that I was better than them by like a decent bit. But like, I was showing that I was better, but like not that much. Like, so, but eventually I got the spot. Originally it's gonna be like, so I was also working a lot of the time. So like, once the team had kind of been decided on, some other people were filling streams, and then during that happened, our top in jungle like quit the team. It was going to be like Alarium and Hami top jungle for a bit.
Oh, really?
Or like they were like ones we had in mind, but I think Alarium would have left anyway, and maybe Hami wanted to play for Robbie Bob.
Yeah.
Anyway, so maybe it would have happened if I was there. Maybe it wouldn't have. Who knows? Then eventually, like we have 3-1 warrior top, and then we have, I think, Cyber and Ethog both trying out for the jungle spot. So eventually we choose Cyber. Both were good. At the time I thought both were like decent, but Cyber had some edges over Ethog, we thought, as a team, so we chose them.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like, we hear that Concept is a free agent. So I thought 3-1 Warrior was good, and he also only played carries, whereas like Concept kind of plays a lot of stuff. So we tried him out, and like we were like, the only scrim that I had with the team that I had with 3-1 Warrior, I think we got 3-0'd by Supernova.
Ooh.
And I was just inting that, and it's not like anyone else played well. Or I was inting, I'll just say that.
Appreciate the honesty.
And then Concept, we played scrims with Concept, and he was like smurfing. But then like, we kind of had to decide between Concept and 3-1 Warrior. And I think we chose 3-1 Warrior, but then like a day later, he was like, I need to focus on streaming, it'll be, that's the choice I want to go with. And we're like, yeah, I mean, it sucks losing him, but we had another really good top laner, and like just whose team had just broken up, and we were lucky that we had a really good top laner to substitute for 3-1 Warrior.
Yeah, for sure. And a Concept definitely has been surprisingly solid in the amateur scene so far.
Yeah, he's been really good. At first, he only played like, or we forced him to play tanks, but then last tournament, like, he's been playing a lot of carries and playing really well. So
yeah.
All right, so with Revival, so Scrim start, I'm like kind of washed from Sky Grounds. I'm just like playing okay.
Yeah.
Nobody on the team really comms that much. This is like pre-Ryzen, kind of. Like, we're scrims before Ryzen.
Right.
So, team's like, okay. We're like, I think we won like almost every scrim block, but it's not like we're playing that well.
You just happen to be winning them.
Yeah. Once Ryzen starts, I think I had gone into like, okay, so basically the team was like, if I'm feeling it on that day and I'm calling plays, we're gonna win. If I'm like not feeling it, we're gonna lose. Cause I was like kind of the only one making plans at the time.
Gotcha.
And also like, I don't know, I've gotten more like confident in my calls since then.
Yeah.
And I'll get into it later. So we kind of just played decent in Ryzen. Let me see. We got like 5th, 6th, or we finished 4-1. So obviously played pretty well. Got pretty lucky with the teams we played. We played some decent teams, but no teams that were like really that good.
Yeah.
And then playoffs start. Everyone still on the team is quiet. Like, me and Scoop talk a bit, and then it's like and like also, uh, we haven't had a scrim since before Ryzen because we're just busy, so we like never scrim. And I don't know, we just never got to work out some things, and then we get through by Sulfy Day. Sorry to Sulfy Day. We get through which sucks. You never want to get through, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it was after that or after Barrage, the Barrage 2-0 against us. But basically, like, you know, the thing where you say, like, oh, tell everyone one thing you like about them and one thing you don't like about them.
You had one of those kumbaya moments in teams, yeah.
Yep. And you know how it like destroys teams at times. Like I was watching a CLG double video about it on, or a double video about it, his time on CLG.
Yeah.
And how it like destroyed the team, and it was like, I don't know if anyone was really excited going to it.
Yeah.
But basically like I was like the third person to go or so, and the first two were like, oh, they're just saying stuff. But then like I kind of like went in on everyone, and like. I don't know, like if I'm calling it how I'm seeing it, like
yeah,
concept, you need to start picking carries. Our coach needs to draft your carries. Cyber, I don't remember what it was with him. Sudsy, you need to not tilt ever, or like you know, not ever, but like you can't let small things get you that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't remember what was scooped. And then basically I said to our coaches like, at this point, you have not helped us improve at all. If something doesn't change, I will not improve with you guys. I will only improve by myself. But after that, I don't know if that was after the Sulfide 3-0 or the Barrage 2-0, but everyone a flip was switched for sure. Everyone helps out in comms now. Like comms are really, comms are like pretty good. Sometimes they're like really way too loud and too cluttered, like, and it's caused like some issues. Sudsy's like a beast. Or I mean, Sudsy's always been really good mechanically, but like he was known as a tilter, but he's been really good since we had that conversation. And our coaching staff, like, we now like actually VOD review and have things to work. Like, it's not just like, oh, the players played the game. Try to take away from it what you can.
Yeah.
Like they're adding value, which is obviously what you want from a coach, and they're killing it. Like before, our main coach Crazy Legs kind of just focused on draft, and he still is really focused on draft. Like draft is definitely a strong suit. But during that time, like before the Sulfide series, I was like subbing with IMT Academy for a bit, and got some of the VODs from the coaches to like show them like what a coach should be doing.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then he's been killing it ever since. So.
And is that Malaclips, the IMTA?
It was like, well, it was just VODs from like our days that I'd scrimmed, and
Gotcha.
he just like, or I just told him to like scroll through to where we review, and then watch what he says.
Okay.
And he's definitely. I assume he did it because he's improved a lot, so he definitely watched it.
Something helped.
Yeah, it was Jensen Go.
Okay.
And Nightshare, I think he's like assistant coach or something. Yeah. But ever since then, just been a whole different team for sure.
Sometimes that has to happen though. Like you need to. I think. A lot of times, not just in esports or even traditional sports, I think in terms of any working relationship, professional or friendship, if there's like something that needs to be said and people are just kind of holding it in, that's not healthy, right? And like sometimes, even if it's gonna make people uncomfortable, if it's gonna make people upset, sometimes you just gotta get that shit out, right? Because you just need to be open. Because if you're ever gonna move forward as a team, everyone needs to be on the fucking same page, and like if you've got like thoughts about like someone, and you don't, in your eyes they're not stepping the fuck up, then you know you need to let them know so that
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's really easy because I feel like I've been probably the worst player on every team I've been on until Revival.
Yeah,
So I've always wanted people to tell me what I'm doing wrong, how I can improve,
sure.
and it's always helped me. So I will tell you what I think you're doing wrong, so you can improve too.
Mm-hmm.
And I want my teammates to do that to me too,
Mm-hmm.
obviously.
Yeah. And just like that, you guys are in the right mindset to not only do really well in your group, but also 2-0 EGP. What
Yep.
was that like? Were you guys just like on fire? Were EGP kind of like running it down, or just?
So okay, I will say that we have a 50% win rate against them all time in our scrims and our game against them in Ryzen.
Okay.
Like we had been 3-3 all time, I think,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
before this game. So like, and that was when we were playing like shit. So like,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and we had been playing really well pretty much every game before that. So I was like pretty confident that we could win. Was talking with Ito the day before, and he's like, "Oh, you guys will 2-0 us, no problem." But obviously he's joking. He thinks he's gonna 2-0 us easy. Like we're Revival. Who the fuck are we? And they're EGP. They have like, yeah.
Yeah.
Coming into it, first game draft, we definitely had some really good answers to what they were trying to do, like the Nocturne pick into like it was, we were thinking about it into Udyr, and then they locked like TF, and it's like, oh, we just won draft.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nocturne's super good into fucking TF. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also got my Bard, which even though it's not like great with Kaisa, and I also have not been playing like season 10. I was kind of like, besides Yuumi, Bard was by far my most played.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a comfort pick, but I haven't played it in a while because nobody really picks it anymore. It's still pretty good, but like it's more of a engage like tank support meta. So
Yeah.
I just roll with the tide. But we were pretty confident going to the draft, and they definitely were not playing that well on the day.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's fair to say that I know their coach has said it also, so
Yeah.
I'll just. But I think we played really well, except like we had like 2 or 3 pretty big ants that like made it close.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, the game was in our control the entire time,
Mm-hmm.
and even if their players weren't underperforming pretty hard, which I would say is fair, I think we played really well, and I think we would have won even if they were playing well. So.
Well, I love the confidence. I mean, you guys have definitely been on an upward swing, and you know, most of us don't know where it came from, but now, you know, at least I know, being the first to know why. And but that's awesome, man. I think having that trajectory change is not only exciting for, you know, you guys obviously, but it's exciting for the scene as a whole, because myself included, the other casters were predicting that EG were going to win that series before it had occurred the next day. So and
yeah, I'd heard some of the bot lanes that Cuppy was saying were like better than me, or better than me in Skiff, and some of the players to make your dream team that we would replace, and it's like, man, I gotta prove these dudes wrong. Like, holy shit, what are they thinking, you know? Nah, I mean, I respect those players that you guys mentioned, but like, I had to prove them wrong for motivation, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I know Smax is very is an advocate for Shiro Mist playing better. I was not impressed when they first started out. I don't know if I still have my opinion changed, but I now want to see how well you guys can do against Maryville University, because I am definitely a big believer in that roster, but I would love to see if you guys are able to take it to them, which brings us to
Let me bring one more point
sure
on that.
sure
I think besides Barrage, who may not have the highest peak
yeah
of all the teams, they are by far the only consistent team in amateur. I think there are some teams that on their day are better than Barrage, but Barrage will always give you their 100%, I think. And like teams like Sulfide, EG, Anu, and some obviously I would consider New Blaze in there. I haven't watched much Maryville games, so don't really know that much, but they're very like they're coin flip. Like they'll either crush you or off day.
yeah
And yeah, I think I remember Covey or someone was saying like nobody can beat the top 5 teams. Like watching the cup games and the first cup games, the New Year's Showdown, where I don't know, they were like inting. And then the Rising games too, like there are games where people are just inting, and some of their players are really overhyped.
Yeah.
And maybe have ego issues. Who knows? But I think on a good day, like for the most part, anyone can beat anyone.
I agree.
Besides maybe Barrage. Barrage is good.
Well, according to the Barrage players, if you play them after 12 a.m. EST, then their performance goes low. So they prefer when it's not best of 5s on a late Saturday evening.
Word. I'll keep that in mind for the finals.
Worm? Okay. I like that. But going in, so, you know, I've already talked about saying that you guys haven't seen a lot of Maryville University's games. Your bot lane matchups with Scooped is against Evan RL and Shady. Shady was one of the other supports that came into Scouting Grounds, I think, on Team Infernal. And I think with his pedigree, you know, it's a lot of people are gonna go into that matchup thinking that it's one of the bigger mismatches in this series. So how do you know, without disclosing anything, like how do you guys plan on preparing for this matchup?
Well, the secret is we haven't planned for it yet, so that's the secret. But honestly, though, I have watched a fair amount of the games, like 2 or 3 of the games, and the one against Sulfide, I remember. Yeah. Like it's not really about whatever bot lane is better; it's whether my top laner can handle being 1v3'd, and whether we can make it worth on the other side of the map, you know. So yeah. No, I mean I think Chippy is probably the best top laner in amateur. He's crushing everyone. Yeah. And I mean obviously their team is built for him to do that. But he's destroying everyone. He's really good. Yeah. And I think Auto Orange is really good as well. Like somehow they had Niles not iconic, and like honestly probably upgraded. So, but Shady's like decent. He makes a lot of coin flip plays. He can be punished really easily if your team is smart. And I think like Wolf and Evan RL are like okay. Like Wolf is good on control mages. Evan RL is like I don't rate him too highly. I think he's decent though. He's obviously isn't bad by any means, but you're never gonna see him like hard carry a game, I think. Which he hasn't asked to do on this team, obviously. Obviously they're just playing through top pretty much every game, or waiting for Wolf to get 6 items on Orianna or Victor or whatever. Right. I definitely think we can win for sure. It's not like I think we can win. I know we have a really good shot going in. Okay. I mean that's the attitude you got to have anyway. So I'm definitely looking forward. It's a shame that Big can only choose one series to stream, and more than likely because there's so much. Yeah. There's so much revivals and nobodies. Also, one thing I think that's huge about this game is, you know, people can say that EG was just underperformed, and honestly, if we don't beat Maryville or at least have a really good performance, we go back to being like, oh, they're just like on the bubble of being a good team. Oh, they can't beat these top 5 teams on their good day. I think it's really important for us to at least, at the very least have a really strong showing against Maryville,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to prove people wrong. I've seen some people in other Discord saying like, "Oh, can't wait to play against Maryville in the finals." Like, I want to prove those people wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking respect it, man. That's because that whatever happens in big, you know, you got OQs tomorrow, and I am not worried about you guys. I was going through like the teams in that OQ bracket, and so for me, you guys are definitely slotting in top 8. You know, just don't mental boom tomorrow, but
I mean, apparently we just have to play one best of 3 against either GVU or University of Texas Dallas.
Yeah.
And not too worried.
Yeah.
But obviously you need to take it seriously, because it's a best of 3. Anything can happen.
That is true. So
definitely am not expecting to lose. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I think you guys have a very, like, I would be very surprised if you guys didn't get it in. But you know, like you said, you know, don't be complacent with it. Take it seriously, just so that you can guarantee getting into Cup, and then from there, you will have plenty of chances to make more statement victories and decisions, right? Because if you are just making this change, you know, after Risen and going into Big League, you know, this is where, like, now the next couple of weeks are going to be very important for Revival as a team to rack up those qualification points, and then that way you get into T1, and then you get to play against the bottom academy teams, and you know, obviously if you get into OQ, you will have a chance to play against Golden Guardians Academy, which is going to be in this tournament. So, you know, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do have a...
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
I don't have anywhere to be.
Okay. I just wanted to check in and make sure that, you know, we could take our time with the next couple of questions. So throughout this, you know, you started out getting to Challenger as a Yumi, quote unquote, one trick, shared with a few Bard games, or a decent amount of Bard games. You are now, you know, playing champions like Alistar, you're playing Leona, you're very comfortable within the support tank engage meta now. How would you say, or how would you define your play style as an individual now?
Yeah, so I was thinking about this, and honestly, I don't know if I've ever really thought about it. I mean, I think because most of my game knowledge started from Scouting Grounds, like my Scouting Grounds experience, and the meta then was like, play through jungle, your jungle will carry if he's like up camps. And honestly, it's pretty much still that, unless someone gets really fed or it goes like late. Because like the meta right now is pretty much just, oh, your jungle full clears, and then he takes a crab, and then he recalls, and then he full clears, and then he takes Drake or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just trying to get my jungler ahead. Trying to like just make sure we can get advantages, and just, I don't know, try to make sure we can get as many waves as possible, as many advantages as we can.
Yeah.
And I don't know, one thing that I would say is that I don't think I go for many ganks at all. Like I remember looking at Scouting Grounds, I had like the lowest of supports, like kills on another lane. I think there are a lot of times I would go up and like help if my top, like I remember against EG, like top laner had big freeze, and then we also saw Udyr coming, and then I'll just like be there and make sure you can get the freeze in, and then we blew Tomia's flash. Like I think you'll see me doing that a lot, like helping with waves, but you don't really see me actually trying to kill the mid and top laner that much, because I don't know, ganks are always risky to go for. Just kind of coin flip to say.
Yeah.
But I don't know how. That's the best I got for the moment.
Yeah. No, that's completely fine. I mean, you know, when the main champion that you've played for so long is essentially an enchanter, right? It's a different play style. That, like, it's not like you are walking around as Yumi going for ganks or impacting other lanes. So it's definitely a different way to approach the map as a whole.
Yeah, no, I would say that I always like. It's not that I don't try to affect other lanes. It's just that like I'll just get like vision in their jungle or help them crash a wave, or if I think they're about to 3-man dive top, I'll just reset, run top, and make sure my top laner doesn't lose 18,000 waves and he all that force or something.
Yeah. It's just all about timing, right? Just making sure that you're not losing too much experience on the bottom side of the map when you're going in to help everyone else out. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think, you know, over time, as you get to go through different metas as a competitive player, you got a chance to flesh yourself out more and adapt to different things. You know, right now it's this heavy tank engage meta, but you know, with 11.3 coming out, you know, I don't know what your team's reads are or what other teams' reads will be, but I suspect that we might be moving back towards enchanters in the support role if Moonstone is not going to be touched and Chemtech Putrefier is as busted as it looks on paper with the changes. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't like I wasn't joking when I said we don't scrim. We were gonna have Scrim Friday, but like obviously we have to do cup qualifiers now.
That's your new Scrim.
Yeah. I don't think it'll affect sport that much. I think enchanters have been like pretty strong for a while.
Sure.
But it's more like, what do you need your team comp to do? And for most teams, it seems like you need to engage support pretty much always.
Yeah.
Enchanters definitely are good, and I don't know if the Chemtank Putrefier stuff actually matters, because like I don't know about you, but every game on support I get 2 items. I buy like a Kindle gem, and then I just buy potions for the rest of the game or elixirs. Like I will never finish a 3rd item. It's literally not useful for support. Like you never get that much gold. I don't think it actually matters.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
fair enough.
But it does look like a really good item, and maybe if you want to skip Moonstaff and go at 2nd, it can be good against certain teams. But
right.
I think what Ellis was talking about is like, oh, you just get it 3rd or 4th item. You're never getting 3 or 4 items.
Oh, no. Yeah, that I agree with you on that part. I was talking more like if you, like you said, you go Moonstone, but you don't get Staff of Flowing Water.
Yeah. That could be a build that people go. It definitely could be.
Yeah, because I don't think, like, if you need Grievous Wounds ASAP, because then you're saving everyone else on your team, you know, having to invest into Grievous Wounds themselves. So, and I would probably see it more like if your mid laner is playing like high income support, like Karma, right? Then maybe they can build it, and you can still play a support engage tank, but then you just have the likes of a double marksman composition in both bot and jungle, or some type of carry role in those two, and then from there, we'll see how it pans out. And I'm confident.
Who knows?
Yeah. But in terms of champions, now that you've had the chance to kind of like experiment and play a little bit more variety than just the Yuumi, what would you say are your top 3 favorite champs to play right now? And what champion would you like to come back into the meta?
So, definitely the only champ that I would say is like I enjoy playing, and not just because I get control of the game, or my champ's OP, is like Bard. Bard is like really fun. You got to do everything on the map. Your R is like disgustingly OP. You can just set up chimes randomly, and you won't notice it, but then you like watch the bot and it's like, oh, you won your mid lane or the lane. Congrats, you pressed W. Yeah. And then they took it and it won the lane. Like I saw an academy game today, or maybe it was yesterday, but someone against Golden Guardian. It was yesterday. Someone against Golden Guardians placed 3 Bard W's top, and then their top traded really hard at level 1, and then it literally solo won them the game.
Right, because then they just healed up everything.
Their jungler like he beat him level 1 and then like chased him into blue, and then Rosethorn like chased him for a while, and then their jungler was just up like 3 camps, and Gangplank was full HP and Kennen was like 100, and it was like insane. So other champs, Thresh is like fun. He's kind of fun to play. I wouldn't say he's like nearly as fun to play as Bard. And then probably just Alistar. Alistar's always fun. You kind of control the game, and always got to get good like engages, and it's really foolproof. Although that is me saying it from scouting guns.
Right.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I may or may not remember the game that you are talking about. I may or may not have been casting that game, and I may APA links it every time we play against each other, and then I've just started linking it to everyone in like pre-game lobbies. I haven't watched it, so I will not watch that clip, by the way. But like, I do like. It's fucking funny. It's funny. It's okay, man.
And then okay, champ that I wish returns to meta. I mean, Bard isn't really meta, but like it's playable.
Yeah.
So I won't say that. I don't know if I really have fun playing any of the other supports besides Rakan. I mean, Rakan's like kind of meta, but it's like not like really meta. It's like playable at times.
Yeah.
But I think if Rakan got like strong again, Rakan's also fun to play. So.
Sure. Have you what do you think of Rel, or have you put any games on Rel so far?
Played it a bit. Not too good at her yet, but it's work in progress. I haven't played it that much, but definitely will be. She's definitely really strong. But like no doubt about it.
Yeah, because I was curious. Rel got some interesting AP buffs. Like,
well, they aren't really that useful. Like, when are you building AP? Like, you maybe get like 20 to 30 AP. It's like a 3 damage buff.
Yeah.
But no, like. She was already good and she got buffs. It doesn't really affect her that much, but like, she is better. So
I don't know if like a Shirelia's angle would like make that AP like super good on her, or if it's just still better to build like.
I would assume it's just better to go lock it.
Yeah.
To, like, come tank. I mean, I don't know, I just remember her abilities got buffed by like maybe like 100% total, like all together. Maybe it was a bit less.
Yeah.
So, like, it's still decent. Yeah, like 40 extra damage is fine. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it matters that much.
Yeah. All right. And as we are winding down, kind of the last question I have for you is, what are your goals by the end of this year, and where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
So, end of this year, just gonna do what everyone says and be like, oh, I want to be Academy, oh, my dream's LCS. But no, like, my goal definitely is to be Academy by the end of the year, or at least Academy level. I can't decide whether a team will want me or they want to go for a OS Korean import. Like, who am I to judge? I just want to prove to people that I am at least of that level and have people know that I'm there. I think just proving that I don't know, that like NA supports are definitely not that good, but like just trying to improve the bar just a bit by myself if I can.
Yeah. Well, I can slightly make the question more specific, because I understand that after asking a couple people, it's like It's
Yeah,
usually going to
I've
be
watched and I watched it. Oh, I want to. Yeah. All right, go for it.
How do you plan on, like, what specifically about yourself are you going to work on improving so that you can actualize those goals?
Yeah, I was thinking about this when I was like reading the question because I assumed it would come up like yesterday whenever you sent it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if there's a right answer. I need to improve on everything, but I don't know. I think just being more comfortable. Like, I think most people in academy, most sports are like really strong shot callers and really understand the game and how they want to play the game out.
Sure.
I mean, I think I have a good idea right now, but like obviously I can always improve, and I'm sure like if I can get into like some tryouts and be able to express myself with my game ideas,
Mm-hmm.
that people will, or I want to impress people with that. And then obviously always trying to improve landing, improve like one big thing that I was working on during Sky Grounds was like my roam timers. I would just like have timers and then just like put a random word or hover mid. But it's not like I wasn't like thinking of what I'm trying to do with my time.
Gotcha.
It's like, oh, I want to put a word so my Syndra can play it, get a plate, or like push him off this wave, or stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like especially during IMT, like their mid laner, Pretty, always was like, I need you to do this, this, and this so I can win us the game. And that's what I want to be able to do. Be like, just know exactly what my team needs me to win the game and do that.
Yeah. Just having a not only better understanding of just like what you should be doing, what your role should be doing throughout the game, understanding the win conditions and how you can optimize your actions on the map, and also just like making sure there's like thoughts, there's like purpose into every decision that you make rather than just kind of autopiloting. Because I think that's probably what plagues a lot of talented players at the beginning, is that you just kind of learn everything by feel, and you just kind of feel like, you know what, I should be here at around this point in the game, but you never like actively think about it. And I think, I don't know if like if your coach has done exercises with it or if you tried it yourself, but just I think I've seen types of trainings where, you know, they would try to get the players to like
state their purpose every couple minutes or every minute or so.
That's right.
I haven't done that before, but I will. Like, I know in the past some people have said like, oh, Plux always goes to bot lane, and it definitely was a big gripe of mine for a while, which is probably because I played Yuumi forever, and it's just like, I mean, I would roam on Yuumi sometimes, but like it's like you go to bot lane. But also, I don't think my question really answered how I will get this to happen. Which is mainly, I think, like playing games obviously will help my comfort with like shot calling and stuff, but I think just watching a lot of VODs of supports that are good, like in NA, I would say like Core JJ, Vulcan, Ignore, Huhi, and then like obviously there are a fair amount of Koreans and EU and some Chinese. I don't. Some Chinese supports are good. A lot of them suck, but yeah, I think just like watching a lot of VODs and just getting more like actual game time in competitive, so I can just like recognize the situations I'm in, what's worked for me in the past, or what I've seen Kyria does here, or stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I just more just taking in and critically thinking about what players are doing, how you can adapt that and take that into your own play, right? So
yeah,
there you go. Mr. Ryan, we have officially kind of reached all the questions that I had prepared for you today. Before I let you go, I want to give you the opportunity to plug your plug your socials and shout anyone out that you would like to.
All right. Plux lol, Plux on Twitter. Plux Deluxe on Twitch, but like I never stream, so who cares? That's pretty much it for social. Then gotta shout out my boy Coach Coso. Gotta shout out Acillion, my boy. Stupid123, Skyfires. They all made me who I am today. Then give one out to Goo, and then my boy Twitch on God. Which is said wrong on purpose, but it is what it is.
All right. Okay. Well, for those that are watching and happen to catch this before Saturday, make sure to, I don't know who Big League plans on streaming. More than likely, I think it's going to be Barrage and Anu. But if either Revival or Maryville University decide to stream their semifinal on either the channels, we will let you know, and we will definitely be talking about it on Twitter, because I think both semifinals are important to watch and tune into, because I think we'll be seeing just more of how the amateur scene and the Proving Grounds circuit is starting to scope out as we start wrapping and winding down the second tier 2 tournament and approach the final tier 2 tournament of the season. But again, Plux, thank you so much for coming on, and I appreciate you a lot, homie, for reaching out to me. And I wish you the best of luck, not only in your semifinal, but also tomorrow for OQs, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot for having me on. Thanks for giving me a place to talk, just talk about, because I've been wondering, like, on my team, apparently I'm considered a veteran, whereas I think I've only been playing a little bit. So, like, I just wanted to talk about my history before, just have it down, you know, let people know a bit about me.
Yeah.
And yeah, good luck with your podcast. I'm sure I'll be watching them in the future.
Thanks a lot, man. And be sure to let me here, let me let me say good night to everyone, and goodbye.